Think about this for a second. The human body is, without a doubt, the most incredible and complex machine you will ever own. But there's a huge catch, right? It doesn't come with an owner's manual. You're just sort of handed the keys at birth and told, good luck, figure it out.
But what if it did? What if you actually had a guide to its basic operations, its own special language, and its unbelievable self-regulating systems? Well, that's what we're doing here. Consider this chapter 1 of that missing manual. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so every good manual has to start with the fundamentals. And for the body, that means getting a grip on the two core sciences that describe it. On one side, you've got anatomy. The easiest way to think about this is as the body's parts list. It's the study of the structure, the bones, the muscles, the organs, what they are and where they are. Then, on the other side, you've got physiology. This is the how it works section. It's all about how all those parts actually function, both by themselves and together. And here's the most important thing to remember. Structure always fits function. How something is built tells you what it does. Now, if you're going to read a manual, you have to understand the language it's written in. And believe it or not, the body has its own set of universal terms that scientists and doctors use to describe everything with perfect precision. And everything, I mean everything, starts from this exact position. It's called the anatomical position. You're standing up straight, arms down at your side, with your palms facing forward. It doesn't matter if a patient is lying down or even upside down. Every description always refers back to this standard pose. It ensures everyone, everywhere, is on the same page. It's our universal starting point. With our starting point set, we can now use the body's internal GPS. So superior means toward the head, while inferior means toward the feet. It's that simple. Your head is superior to your shoulders. Then we have anterior, which just means front, and posterior, which means back. So your nose is on the anterior side of your body. It's a really logical system once you know the lingo. Let's add just a few more coordinates to our map. Medial means you're moving toward the body's midline, and lateral means you're moving away from it. So your heart is medial to your lungs. And finally, you have proximal and distal, which are all about how close something is to the main trunk of your body. For example, your elbow is proximal to your wrist, but your fingers are distal to your wrist. Make sense, right? This map really helps it all click into place. See that central line of the body? The head, neck, and trunk? That's what we call the axial region. And everything that's attached to it, like your arms and legs, makes up the appendicular region. All those terms we just learned, superior, distal, medial, they're what allow a professional to describe an exact location on this map with zero confusion. So we've learned the language. Awesome. Now let's move on and see how this incredible machine is actually constructed, following the blueprint from the smallest possible building block all the way up to, well, you. It's this amazing hierarchy, kind of like building a city from scratch. It all starts at the chemical level with individual bricks. Those are atoms and molecules. Those bricks come together to build houses, which are the cells. Neighborhoods of similar houses formed tissues. Then, different tissues combine to create functional districts, like the power plant or city hall. Those are our organs. These districts all work together in citywide networks, which are our organ systems. And all of it, working in perfect harmony, creates the entire bustling metropolis that is a complete organism. Okay, so every good manual needs a map, and the body's internal layout is no exception. Let's take a look at the major compartments and regions that house all of our vital equipment. The body has two main sets of internal containers, or cavities, that protect our organs. There's the dorsal cavity, which is on the backside and houses the super important brain and spinal cord. And then there's the much larger ventral cavity on the front side, and it holds pretty much everything else, from your heart and lungs all the way down to your stomach and intestines. Now, that ventral cavity is so big and packed with so much stuff, especially the lower part, that health professionals needed a simpler way to talk about specific locations. So they came up with a really simple grid system. And here's that grid system in action. All you do is imagine two lines, one vertical and one horizontal, crossing right at your belly button. This gives us 4 quadrants. So if you tell a doctor you have a sharp pain down here, in the right lower quadrant, their mind immediately jumps to things like the appendix, because that's the specific neighborhood where it lives. Super helpful. But sometimes, 4 quadrants just isn't specific enough. For an even more detailed map, we can use a 9-region grid.
Just picture a tic-tac-toe board drawn over the same area. This tic-tac-toe board gives us incredible precision. For example, that very top center square, that's the epigastric region, which is right where the stomach is. The square in the dead center is the umbilical region, and so on. It's like giving every major organ its own unique zip code, which allows for a much more precise diagnosis. Okay, we've covered the parts, we've learned the language, and we've got the map. Now we get to the most crucial and frankly the most mind-blowing part of the manual, the body's fully automatic operating system that keeps everything running perfectly. This master program is called homeostasis. It's the continuous, silent process of keeping everything inside you, your temperature, your blood sugar, your oxygen levels, in a state of perfect balance, no matter what chaos is happening in the outside world. Your moment-to-moment survival depends entirely on this. So how does it do it? How does it pull off this incredible trick? It uses a brilliant control system called a feedback loop. The best way to think of it is like a super smart thermostat for your body. It's constantly sensing changes and making tiny adjustments to keep you in that narrow, stable range that allows you to live. And there are two main types of these loops. The most common, by far, is negative feedback. Its job is to oppose or reverse a change. If you get too hot, it works to cool you down. If your blood sugar gets too high, it works to bring it back to normal. It's all about creating stability. But then there's positive feedback, which does the exact opposite. It amplifies a change to push a process all the way to completion. Childbirth is the classic example of a positive feedback loop. Let's just follow the diagram. A contraction starts, and a sensor detects that stretch. It sends a signal to the brain, that's the integrator, which then releases a hormone. That hormone travels to the uterine muscle, the effector, and causes an even stronger contraction. More stretch leads to more signal, which leads to more hormones. The loop keeps amplifying itself, getting stronger and stronger until the goal is achieved. It's an incredible process. So the thing to really wrap your head around is that right now, as you're just sitting here, your body is performing millions of these homeostatic balancing acts without you ever having to think about it. It's regulating your breathing, your heartbeat, your digestion, all on autopilot. So I'll just leave you with this. Of all the incredible things your body is doing automatically to keep you alive and well, which one do you find the most amazing?